Hey, what is going on, everybody? This is Beanie and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. For really the duration of my channel, I've been focused on MLB The Show, and while I'm still going to post a lot of MLB The Show content, today is a day that I've decided to start branching out into some other content, and that is going to start with some Red Dead Redemption 2 speculation, and I have a little bit of evidence to back up this speculation as well. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that I'm very excited about, and it's just something that I've been excited about for years, and I really have wanted to make content on it. I plan on making content on it when it comes out, so I decided to start making some videos in anticipation for the release October 26th. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. What we are going to be talking about today is just the game world in Red Dead Redemption. How big is it going to be? What areas are we going to be able to explore? And specifically, the leaked map that was released a couple of years ago that has proven to be very accurate, but I've seen some evidence in the past couple of weeks that have led me to believe that while it is accurate, it might be unfinished. And after this video, I hope you see where I'm coming from with this, because I do think all the evidence is pointing to the map not being as small as it looks in the leak, that it's actually going to be quite a lot bigger. And so yeah, that is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, if you look at the leaked map, it is a big map. It is a gargantuan map for a game that is going to be set basically with horses and buggies and wagons and stuff like that. It's going to take a long time to traverse, even as it is. It's about 1.5 times the size of the original Red Dead Redemption, but it's not quite half the size of GTA 5, so it is a smaller map than GTA 5 and the biggest map that Rockstar has ever created. I don't think Rockstar is going to go that direction. Rockstar always wants to up the ante. They always want to get bigger and better. So I see Red Dead Redemption 2's map being as big, if not bigger, than GTA 5, and I do have some evidence to back that up. I do think that the leaked map is real. We've seen in the trailers many spots and many river streams and roads and things like that that correspond to the map that was leaked really, really well. But in my opinion, I think that that leaked map didn't have all... It was in a very early stage of development. And since then, Rockstar has added more and more areas that have made the map much, much larger. Why do I think this? What is my evidence? What am I pointing to? Well, recently a PlayStation Access video came out on YouTube. You can go watch this. I'll link it in the description, where they talk about things that have been confirmed for not GTA, but for Red Dead Redemption. And one of those things is that this is the largest map that Rockstar has ever created. And they even mention GTA and the fact that it is going to be bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, a lot of you may be saying, well, they have no inside info or anything like that. It's just some YouTube channel coming out with more speculation. But PlayStation Access is actually the European branch of PlayStation who has a pretty tight agreement with Rockstar, so I don't think that they would put out any information without having Rockstar's approval, and if that was inaccurate information, then Rockstar would have quickly corrected it, but they didn't, and that video is still up. You can still watch it, and it still claims that this is the biggest game world that Rockstar has ever created. And that's really exciting to think about, because if you think about how long it takes to drive around the GTA map, just think about, or even flying around the GTA map, think about how long it would take with a horse, and think about how much content you could fit into a map that big. There are also some other things that lead me to believe that the map is going to be bigger. First of all, in the gameplay trailer, we had this one screenshot of a desert area, and the narrator says that there will be vast, sweeping deserts and forests and swamps and stuff like that. She's talking about all the different biomes, and the desert one is the one that's really intriguing, because if you look at the leaked map, there really is nowhere to put a desert. You have, I think, like, what is it, like Big Valley, you have the Grizzlies, you have the Heartlands, you have St. Denis, that is more of like a swampy area, the Cumberland Forest, but there's really nowhere to put a desert on that map. So that leads me to believe that there must be other areas that we can play in, and if so, that would be really, really awesome. The one area where I think maybe a desert could possibly fit would be Roanoke Ridge, but just because I don't know that much about that area. But I mean, if you really think about it, Roanoke Ridge, we have seen a few screenshots from that area in the Van Horn trading post, and it doesn't look very deserty, and just by the name alone, that doesn't sound like a name that you would give a desert. So I don't think it's going to be in that area either. And then finally, there was a screenshot, or not a screenshot, in two different trailers, we get a scene from the same area, but at two different time points. And I think the first one was in the first area, and it's of the gang riding in between two different buttes, or two like land rises or whatever. And it's very kind of like an arid type of region, like Utah or somewhere like that. And that's the way it looks in that original trailer. But then in the gameplay trailer, we get a screenshot, or not a screenshot, but a video of John, or not, I keep calling him John, Arthur Morgan riding his horse, and his horse kind of spins out, and in the background is that same butte area, but with the same perspective as the first trailer. But if you look really closely at these shots, they look very, very different. First of all, the grass is a completely different color, and the wildlife around it seems much more vivid in the second video. So it makes me think that possibly we could have dynamic seasons or something like that. But what it definitely tells me is that they have changed the map some. If you look in the middle of the two buttes, there is, in the first video, there is like a land rise, and then you can see the mountains in the distance or whatever. But in the second video, there is no land rise or like little cliff in the middle of those two rises, and the mountains look much, much further off. And that tells me that, one, they've either expanded the map and changed a few things around just to kind of spread everything out and make the map bigger, or they have been changing the map all along, and they've added new areas behind the mountains or crossed a river or something like that. What it does tell me is that the map has changed since the leak. So there is no reason whatsoever to believe that the leaked map is the final version of the map that we're going to be getting. Okay, so you may be asking yourself, if they do decide to put a desert or new areas into Red Dead Redemption, where are they going to put it? And basically, I have 4 ideas in my head about where they could go. The first idea is that they put the location to the west, just above the areas that would be New Austin and West Elizabeth and like Hennigan's Stead, that area from the original game. Put it just to the west of Big Valley, and just have that whole area be desert and whatever else they wanted to throw in there. I think that would be a pretty likely place that it could go. Another would be to the north, just north of the Grizzlies. That does make some climatological sense, I guess, because that desert would be in the rain shadow of the Grizzlies, and it would make sense that it would be more arid in that region. But the only thing that makes me doubtful about that theory is that it seems to make sense that they would want to use the Grizzlies as kind of a default map wall, like a map barrier that you couldn't get past. It would seem like a really natural area to put a map boundary. So I'm not sure that that is what that's where the new map is going to be, but it is possible, and it would make sense from a geographic standpoint. Another place where I think it could go, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense geographically, and it wouldn't really coincide with how America is set up geographically, but it would make sense from a gameplay standpoint, and that is east of the Lanaheechee River. To the east, you know, usually that would be like Mississippi and Louisiana and stuff like that in real life. But, well, not Louisiana, but Mississippi, Alabama, that area, and that's not exactly a desert area, but if they're looking for just, you know, convenient gameplay or something like that, it would make sense to put it across the river, and it would kind of act like the same way that the river did in Red Dead Redemption 1 as a barrier to Mexico. Before you could eventually go to Mexico, you had to cross the river and whatnot. And we know that you're going to cross at least some of the river, because in the middle of the river is an island that holds the Sisika prison, the penitentiary. And I mean, I don't think they would put that on the map unless we were going to go there. So that is on the map. We know that we're going to be able to boat and canoe and things like that. So we will be crossing the river at some point, and something has to be on the other side of it. And to me, it just makes sense that that's where the desert would be. I do think that that is probably... either there or the west is probably going to be the most likely area for a desert to be, in my opinion. Now, there have been a lot of people to say that they believe that the desert will just be a redesign of the new Austin and Mexico area, and I do think that that's possible. I do. It would make sense for them to just, you know, take the map that they have already built for Red Dead Redemption 1 and just kind of refurbish it and put it into this game to give you more play area. But there are a couple of problems with this theory that make me think that it's not going to happen that way. One is that even if you add the new Austin and Mexico areas to the current map, it still wouldn't make it bigger than GTA 5, which PlayStation Access did say that it would be bigger than GTA 5. It would still only be about a little over half the size of Grand Theft Auto 5 if you put in New Austin and Mexico. So I don't really think that that's super likely. Another thing that makes it unlikely is that they would have to retcon some things from Red Dead Redemption 1. If you remember in Red Dead Redemption 1, while Johnny and Bonnie McFarlane are riding to Armadillo, Bonnie asks John if he or his gang had ever been there, and he said, no, we thought about making it down here a few times, but we never got the chance. So in order for New Austin to be in the game and for us to travel there, they would have to completely retcon that whole dialogue out of the game or explain it some other way. Like, I don't know, maybe John was lying to Bonnie and they try to explain it that way or something. I don't know. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to do that. But it is possible, like I said. But if they do add New Austin and Mexico, I don't think that those would be the only additions to the leaked map that we saw. I also think that they would expand in other places, either across the river or out west. I don't think that New Austin would be the only desert that we got. I think it would be much more than that. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you guys that have been around my channel for a long time are okay with me doing some different stuff on here. Please don't dislike the video just because it's not an MLB The Show video. I promise I'm going to do stuff like that as well. In fact, I'm probably going to be streaming tonight if you want to come and check that out. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. That'd mean a lot to me. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace.